Call to order the Willows Planning Commission regular meeting, January 24th, 2024. Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call.
Commissioner Brought,
Here.
Commissioner Ehorn,
Here.
Commissioner Myers,
Here.
Commissioner Valencia,
Present.
and Commissioner Bobadilla is absent for this evening.
All right. All right. Item number 4, any changes to the agenda? All right, no changes. Item number 5, public comment and consent calendar forum. All matters on the consent calendar are considered routine and are approved by one motion and vote unless commission members or the city planner first request that a matter be removed for separate discussion and action. Individuals wishing to address the commission concerning consent calendar items or regarding matters that are not already on the agenda are invited to make oral statements of up to 3 minutes at this time. Please address your comments to the chairman and commission members and not to the staff and/or the audience. By state law, the commission is not permitted to undertake any action or discussion on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. If you have any documentation that you would like distributed to the commission, please mail it to City Planner at 201 North Lassen Street, Willows, California, 95988, or email it to bturner@cityofwillows.org. Anybody have any comments they want? An item's not on there. Okay. All right. Minutes approval. Approve the minutes of the November 15th, 2023 Planning Commission regular meeting. I have a motion.
I make a motion to approve the planning commission minutes from November 18th, 2023.
All right, Commissioner.
I'll second.
Okay. All right. All right. Public hearing. Item 6. All matters.
Commissioner Ehorn?
Yes.
Well, we still need to take the full vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Unanimous or?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Told you it was gonna be rough. All right. All commission members in favor of approving the minutes? Say aye.
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 All opposed? Passes. All right, item number 6, public hearing. All matters in this section of the agenda are formal public hearings and will be acted on individually. Once the chair opens the public hearing, members of the public may request to speak. When you are called on by the chair, please state your name clearly for the audio recording. If you have any documentation that you would like to be distributed to the commission, please give it to the city planner for distribution. And this is concerning a major use permit, file number MUP-23-03 at 360 West Sycamore Street. Recommended action, receive staff report and relevant documentation, hold a public hearing, and consider adoption of the following resolution. A resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Willows approving use permit, file number MUP-23-03 to allow establishment of a mini mart within an existing 2,200 square foot commercial building for property located at 360 West Sycamore Street, assessor parcel number 002-171-017 within the central commercial zone.
Thank you, members of the Planning Commission. Byron Turner, City Planner. As you stated, this file is use permit 23-03 at 360 West Sycamore Street, also known as Henry's Market. The location, I've got a map. You see the location that pink arrow southwest of the post office on Sycamore Street. And then the next slide, I've got an aerial photo showing the same. It's at the top of your screen. The applicant's requesting to utilize the existing 2,200 square foot commercial building for a new mini mart. This is a conditionally permitted use in the central commercial district. It does require approval from the Planning Commission in the form of a resolution that is attached to your packet. This property, as we stated before, a 2,200 square foot structure. It was formerly utilized as a title company office, and it's been vacant for at least 5 years, is my understanding, maybe longer. The uses that are proposed are basic mini mart uses. It's going to be open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., selling basic groceries, beer and wine, coffee, beverages, and snacks, and hot food items that would come from a roller grill. As we stated before, Henry's Market, the zoning is central commercial. The general plan is general commercial, and it is also in the downtown parking exemption district, which means that no off-street parking is required, no additional off-street parking is required. The permits involved with this project, including the use permit, it also is requesting, these are not under the purview of the planning commission, but just to let you know that other entities involved, alcohol beverage control, a permit for the beer and wine sales, environmental health, a permit for the food sales, and then building and fire department for any tenant improvements and fire infrastructure. Signage, the sign permit will be required to meet city standards. That is a condition of approval. Therefore, planning commission resolution that you conduct a public hearing, find that the project is exempt from CEQA, find that the project is consistent with the general planning municipal code and not detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare of the community, and that it's subject to the conditions of approval. I'm available for any questions, and the applicant is here in the audience as well.
So does the commission have any questions?
Yeah, I actually had a question. I was just curious, how long has that location been vacant for?
The site, how long has the site been vacant?
Yeah,
At least 5 years is what I'm told.
Maybe on the first one. No, I think- yeah, we have to do that, but then we have to-
Oh, okay. So this is when we speak?
You can speak, or you can
Open
open the public hearing.
Yeah, I
open
think
the
so.
public.
Okay. All right, guys, bear with me. All right, it's 6:07. Open the public hearing. Yes, that's my understanding.
What? Well, I kind of keep to what I've written down here, but my name is Elton Garner and I'm the owner of the 110 South Plumas, located directly behind or, south of the 360 West Sycamore. I, as do all others who work and live in Willis, want to see every opportunity for the return of a thriving community with active businesses. My concern is what and where that bothers me. I object to this intended use of 360 West Sycamore Street. Our building behind there was for many years used as lofts, as has the building adjacent to and east of 360 West Sycamore. It's used as a loft. And he mentioned the 360 West Sycamore was a title company. The building across the street to the west started life as a residence, but was transformed into an engineering surveying business for many years. Then most recently, also a loft. These were all compatible uses, in my opinion. 110 South Plumas was used by the Judicial Council during the court's remodel. And it's our hope that this court's remodel and consolidation of the courts will bring back to this area this demand for office spaces. A convenience store at this location and the different hours that are talked about, it does not seem to be compatible with the office hours and any of the offices, their security, and I think it would be very detrimental to the revitalization as offices. While I hope to see the return of a downtown commercial area, I just do not desire it to just be an ad hoc, any business anywhere. Further, this business is going to be located a block from a newly remodeled courthouse, a block from Sycamore Park that is currently being repurposed as a large playground for our youth, and 2 blocks from the high school. While Sycamore Street is an important street in Willows, I do not believe it has the type of traffic to alone support a convenience store at this location with other nearby convenience stores. The target patrons are going to be from the court, families going with their children to the park, and high school students going to and from school. Notwithstanding all else, I believe Willows High School students are or will become, intentionally or not, the demographic focus for this business at this location. Many communities won't allow such a business in such close proximity to a high school. We do not want a business advertising inexpensive cigarettes with such a close walking distance of our high school. In this respect, I do not think this location is a good location for this business in the community of Willows. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evening. My name is Karen Johnson, Willows, California. And the question I'm going to ask the council or the planning commission is the building going to be allowed to have the same signage that it had on the previous building that he operated? I 100% support that we need growth in this town. We need revitalization. We need to bring tourist dollars. But when you look at other small towns like Placerville and Winters and Woodland, you don't see this type of a store in the main historical downtown area. While I see a huge value in the business, absolutely. But the question becomes, are we going to allow to have a bunch of signage on the front of the building that says cheap cigarettes and cheap alcohol and have the appearance of a convenience store versus having an appearance of a nice coffee shop? So that's just my question.
Respected members, thanks for your time. My name is Harish Banger. I represent the 360. With all due respect, I appreciate the comments. I think this is the best example of living in this country that everybody has an opinion and we can hear them loud and clear. Just to make sure that I'm not here to just, promise anybody and not fulfill later on. These days, California does not allow any signage out there for cheap cigarettes. I'm so sorry that if in the past, if on the banner it said cheap cigarettes, there's not going to be nothing. It says nothing. All it's going to say is handbills, nothing else. No market, no cheap cigarettes. There's not going to be no beer sign, even sodas. And as far as high schoolers are concerned, and I totally understand where everybody is coming from, that we might sell them cigarettes or beer or anything like that. We've been in the business for 20 years, and we have never lost license or tobacco license to selling to minors or anything. So I can assure everybody in the community that we're not going to sell to minors, or they won't be able to go to the liquor section where the beer is going to be, or the cigarette section, the tobacco section. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can
Can
we
we
ask-
comment now or do we have to? Yeah,
I don't know.
With all due respect, I live down the street and I happened to see the sign that was posted there saying cheap cigarettes and advertising the beer and the wine. And so I saw that as a huge concern when I saw that. But I don't understand why you would even put that sign up if that wasn't your intent. Which I'm hearing you say that's your intention. The other thing is I don't see anywhere on here cigarettes in any of the planning. Anything that I read, I don't see any mention of selling cigarettes, but I did see that on your sign that you posted.
Sir, could you go to the microphone just so that it's recorded? Thank you.
I think in the plans it says we will carry everything but minimal carry goods. Those items.
But you specifically list alcohol,
Right.
but you don't list cigarettes.
But we will be selling cigarettes. I'm not gonna stand here and tell you, okay, we didn't release that, we're not gonna sell tobacco. Yes, we will. be selling cigarettes and tobacco.
Well, since I'm talking, I'm just going to finish my thoughts if that's okay.
Sure, absolutely.
I happen to agree very much with Mr. Garner. I feel that I want Willows to grow. I know that we need taxes. I support that. But I don't think that we should just be saying yes to everything and just, okay, well, this building's empty. We'll just throw this here and this here. We really need a plan and we really need to think about what we want our downtown Willows to look like. And the more that we just let any business pop up anywhere, I truly believe that that's has the potential to prohibit other businesses from coming in because they're gonna look at what is there. And I just think we need to be really serious about that. And I also, I happen to work at the high school.
Mhm.
And so I hear from the students and you probably will get students. And I happen to agree that that's not a good location next to a high school where we have such a huge usage of cigarettes, tobacco use, and the vapes and all of those things. I'm not in support of it.
That's fine. I respect your opinion. But since you said you're involved in the high school, actually, it doesn't say in the plans. And high school, I've been talking to high school, the arts class, and they are going to paint on the side. If it's approved, they're going to paint on the side a mural that represent Willows, which will be ducks, rice fields, tractors, and rice silos. So what I am getting indication from high school, they are super excited. But I don't know. But thank you.
Commissioner Ehorn, I'd say we can close the public hearing unless there's any other comment and then start deliberation amongst the commission.
So, let's close the public hearing at 6:17. It's like,
For the commission, I just also want to bring up one thing, that banner signs are prohibited. And so any signage that goes on the building will come back through the planning department and possibly the planning commission, depending on its design.
And I would just like to speak to the tobacco not being, excuse me, in the staff report, as we were aware of the alcohol and beverage control, ABC license, sorry. But we just hadn't had any information on anything from the ATF regarding the tobacco. So that wasn't an omission on purpose on his part. It just wasn't information that we had at the time of the preparation of the staff report.
I wasn't really sure what I wanted to say tonight because I had seen the banner that said cheap tobacco, but it was not in the agenda packet. So I wasn't really sure how to present this, but now that we know for sure that you'll be selling cigarettes and tobacco products, the regulation of tobacco retail uses are necessary and in the interest of public health, safety, and general welfare, because there is substantial likelihood of the establishment and operation of more tobacco retail and smoke shop uses in our city. The operation of such businesses in the city, especially in specific locations, would result in undesirable impacts to our community. Among these impacts are increased potential for tobacco sales to minors, greater opportunities for the sale of illegal drug paraphernalia that is marketed as tobacco paraphernalia, and the heightened risk of negative aesthetic impacts, blight, and loss of property values of residential neighborhoods and businesses in the proximity. Our code shows good zoning and planning practices by allowing these types of uses in our highway commercial zone without a use permit. So we do have zoning within the city of Willows that would allow a mini market type business in the highway commercial zone. We have struggling eateries downtown. It's important that we keep in mind the ones that draw people off the freeway and from surrounding cities to support our community. This type of business will not generate any new sales tax. It will just shift it from one business to another. Another business owner in the downtown referred to this business as not being good for our Sycamore Street. And that's what I have.
Oh, sorry. I will bring up the volume. She had nothing more she wanted to add. Nothing more she wanted to add. Yep. Okay, thanks, Deb.
I'd just like to point out to the commission too, that with the approval, you'd be accepting the last whereas statement where we list out 3 sections pursuant to code 18135.050. So we would ask you to be able to point out, if it is not passed, which one of those pieces of that or that code.
Yeah,
was
that's
that on
the
Joe's?
findings.
Yeah, so it'd be on the first page of the resolution. It's the final whereas.
It's also on the last page of the staff report. So these are the findings that are in the resolution. If the resolution is approved, you would be making those findings. If the resolution is not approved, we would like to have a statement on the record, which I believe has been eloquated, that that those findings cannot be made.
Is that clear? Or-
So are you, so is this into regards where it says that it doesn't affect the safety, welfare and health of the community? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
And so I think that several of us have expressed that we feel that this isn't a good location for this because of its location and proximity specifically to the high school, but there are other detrimental attributes that it could cause for our community. Does that cover it?
Yeah,
think
it's
so, yeah.
detrimental to public health is what I would take
I
that
just
as.
want to make sure that
It was clear.
it's on the record.
Okay. So do I have to say it again?
No.
No, you good. You're way ahead.
Okay, so. Sorry, you have to put the vote in. Motion, I mean.
Yeah,
To approve
if
and-
there's a motion,
Did you say there was a motion?
if there is a motion,
Oh.
by anyone, if anyone likes to make a motion.
I have no motion.
How does that?
Well, we can make a motion to not approve it, correct?
I mean, normally you would not make a motion, it would just, you would take no action,
Oh, okay.
so. I'll take that as there's no motion to approve the resolution,
Yeah.
then, okay, then we'll,
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve it. Oh, I gotta read it, sorry. Motion to approve a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Willows approving use permit file number MUP 2303 to allow establishment of a mini mart within an existing 2,200 square foot commercial building for property located at 360 West Sycamore Street. Assessors parcel number 002-171-017 within the central commercial zone. All right, all in favor, say aye.
well, we would need a second to
Oh,
that
sorry.
motion before we could vote there.
I'm in a rush to get through.
Yeah, you're fine, you're fine. Is there a second? Okay, so with the failure of a second, the motion dies.
Died, yep, motion dies. Again, so I get to hit that again.
We move on.
Okay. All right, let me get back to my agenda. Like I told you guys, this is rookie that was up.
I will state for the record that the decision is appealable to the city council.
It, for right now, I would, like, if we do it after the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Item number 7, discussion and action calendar. All matters in this section of the agenda are discussed and will be acted on individually. Individuals wishing to address the commission concerning any of these items are invited to make oral comments of up to 3 minutes at a time. Please address your comments to the chairman and commission and not to the staff and or the audience. When the chairman calls for public comment, please raise your hand to be acknowledged. While not required, the city requests that you please state your name clearly for the audio recording. By state law, the commission is not permitted to undertake any action or discussion on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. If you have any documentation that you would like distributed to the commission, please mail it to the city planner at 21 North Lassen Street, Willows, California, 95988, or email it to bturner@cityofwillows.org. All right, 7A, 245 South Tehama Street, inconsistency with color scheme for design review, number DR-22-01. Recommended action, staff recommends 1, determining the current color scheme is acceptable in accordance with the City of Willows Municipal Code 18.141.060, or 2, not accepting the current color scheme as acceptable in accordance with the City of Willows Municipal Code 18.141.060, and requiring the owner to repaint the building in accordance with the color scheme approved in the design review, number DR-22-01, at the Planning Commission meeting on July 22nd, 2022.
Apologies for the long recommendation there. I probably could have shortened that a little
Yeah.
bit. So
All right, Joe, take fault.
So yes, this is regarding 245 South Tehama, and at the July 20th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting, a color scheme was selected through the design review process. That the approved original color scheme was for a flower pot and a sensible hue, which is kind of a sage green color. We were noticed that the building was painted a different color than that. So we want to bring this item back to you, as it is not one of the pre-approved colors on the list approved by the Planning Commission. So the current color scheme is a bear paint color, and it is black evergreen, which is the green, and then the yellow is a cornstalk, and the door is actually painted the original flower pot color. So as it is outside of what was approved in that Planning Commission, we want to bring it back to you to see if it's acceptable as it is, or if it needs to revert back to the original decision on July 20th.
Can we compromise somewhere in the middle without making them repaint?
Yeah, I don't know what that would be, but I would be open to the ideas. Do we want to do public comment on this now?
Yeah, that's,
Oh.
doing a call for public
Oh,
comment
okay.
on that.
Open for public comment, so come forward.
I'd like to mention what I started off with and what I am at right now. So this is what I started off, and this is where I am now. I don't know if I have to go to the mic. Oh, I can put you.
Yeah, we've got in our packets too, maybe. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say. According to the municipal code, I'm required to put earth tone or wood tone colors on, or anyone, basically, if anyone is repainting their house, earth tone or wood tone colors, if being used, it's exempt from asking a permission, basically. So, and I mentioned on the colors that I'm using is cornstalk by Behr, and evergreen also by Behr. So wood tone or, earth tone colors. I have one more, one more picture. This is another one that I worked on in Willows. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that, it's something, I follow the law and I try to make nicer buildings in Willows. And the only reason why I had to kind of move a little bit from that lighter green to a darker green is because in the summer, the tones of these color, the shades actually lighter themselves with the sun. So by the time, like when we go through a summer, by the next summer, it'll be the same color as it started off, like as it was on July 22nd meeting decided. I mean, I think there is no need to, this is my opinion. I don't think there is any need to repaint it, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, sir.
Yes.
I was curious, why you painted the yellow over the color that the previous, I wasn't on it, I don't know if you three were, but if a color was decided, yellow is definitely not the flower pot. So I was just curious why you decided not to go with what was agreed upon.
What was agreed upon was the body color and the entry door color. Entry door color is still the same, but the body color has green, but it does have cornstalk on top of it. It's called a highlight. So just for a highlight, I had to pick a color, and I picked cornstalk. And the reason I picked cornstalk is because it's a wood color or earth tone color.
But it wasn't approved by the previous.
When it was approved, they did not say exactly which color would you pick for highlight. They just picked one body color and one, and that's, I don't think they discussed or they thought about this in so much detail that, what color highlight would it be? As long as it's earth tone and as long as it's wood tone, I think is what they wanted it to be. That's my understanding.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you, actually, oh, Doug. Sorry.
All right. Doug, did you have something you wanted to come say?
So few people sometimes show up. I thought I better share some of my wisdom or the lack of same. Doug Ross, I live in Willows. I've been covering the planning commission of Willows for, well, too long, you might say 25 years now, and I've seen a lot of things go through and not go through. And I've always been mystified, amazed, and informed that I was always confused about whether the planning commission getting so micro specific about what colors, saying that I understand the perception of this is that there's two levels of discussion going on, and one is a generalized directive of the planning commission in 2022 that specified the exact colors, as though figuratively speaking, the planning commission went over to the color chart and said, this and this is what you shall do. And then on the other end of the spectrum is a generalized code reference that says earth tones and so forth, wood or whatever. But I never was able to, bridge the, opposite ends of the spectrum, as to, how much leeway any particular applicant actually had. Because over the years, I've seen both, an applicant get by with not coming right to the exact name of the paint, as it were. Whereas I've also seen, applicants get, denied or made to, do it again because they didn't get, so in other words, I've seen a fluctuation. So I'm not advocating any one thing or another. I know over the years, because I've reported in a number of other communities where, the city requirement or the county requirement too particularized of a theme seems bad. But on the other hand, not having enough control over it seems bad. So whatever decision you make tonight, I'd be in favor of whatever decision you make. I'm beginning to sound like I'm sitting on the other side of the dais, but thank you, that's
Thank
my
you.
input.
Anyone else from the public? Commissioners?
I would like to thank you actually for the work that you've done for our community. You have taken some buildings that have been empty and blighted and and fixed them up and made them presentable, and I appreciate that. I really do. I'm hoping maybe we can come to a compromise. My idea regarding this is that maybe the corn stalk does need to go, but I don't think the need to repaint the entire structure is necessary. And I guess you guys can help me with this. Are you open to painting over the stripes, the big stripes, with the dark color?
This color scheme was 2023's top selected color schemes on Google. That's where I picked it up from. I have personally, I have no attachment to cornstalk. Like I said earlier, it's something that's, to me, when we go on Google, we pick up the best scheme of the other scheme that was selected in 2022 was actually from the 2022's best selected exterior colors, and this is just 2024's best selected exterior colors, and it's I don't think it's fair to me to change it to something. And when we all know that once I get my certificate of occupancy, I can always go back and change it back to cornstalk without any permission required from commissioners.
I understand what you're saying. But what I also understand is that you had originally brought colors to the planning commission and those colors were approved and you deviated away from what was approved. Would you?
When that deviation is in that body color is still the green, it's only the highlight that was not part of it. If you look at the color scheme that was given, it doesn't say that you cannot do any other color. Okay, if you think it says you cannot do any other color, then it doesn't say white color in it, but all the stripes around the windows are actually white. So does it mean that you will make me white, also make green? No.
Of course, this will be the decision of the commission as a whole. I was hoping that maybe we could compromise with you and have you paint over, let me just finish. Have you paint over the cornstalk and paint the body of the building with the same color that you already have there, but paint out the cornstalk And then do your trims, all your trims in the white to match the windows, was my thought. I mean, we have the option apparently to have you repaint the whole thing. I really don't want to do that.
Can I just read the earth tone and wood tone for the municipal code? The colors that are included in that are reddish brown, brown, tan, ochre, umber, gold, sand, and green. So those are the colors that are allowable by the municipal code.
So do you consider these colors to be earth tone?
The earth tone colors are reddish brown, brown, tan, ochre, umber, gold, sand, and green.
It's my opinion, when it says corn stalk color, it is earth tone or wood tone.
It's something that I think that the city of Willows really needs to work on. This has not been, I don't think, the first problem, because when you say earth tone, everybody has a different vision of what that is.
Well, gold and yellow and corn stalk, and then the green is a dark green.
But I think the problem being, the reason that we're seeing this though is because it deviated away from what was approved.
Absolutely, but the action would be to say that these colors are consistent with this municipal code and those colors that I just read.
That's what I'm wondering myself, does it meet the intent of the code? It may not be exactly.
That's why we brought it back, because it wasn't
what it
exactly what was
but-
approved, but we're kind of asking to reconsider within that municipal code that these colors meet that standard.
That's tough, because just like all of us sitting here, we all have a different opinion of what earth tone is,
It-
but I understand.
Yep, it's just if you feel that the earth tone colors are specifically listed. So if you feel that what he's painted that is a variation of gold or sand and green, then that would be what we're considering tonight.
Do we have the option to possibly wait it out till past summer? Till, summer's over, to see if it does lighten up a little bit? Or?
If I am already given a certificate of occupancy, again, I said,
You
then
can
I
paint it.
don't have to come back to the commission to do it. I can just paint it this
Your
color.
point is, well, what's the point of painting?
It's basically,
the
you are holding me um, to get my certificate of occupancy, so that the next day, even now, I own other apartment complexes here too. I can go paint all of them these colors. And I don't have to have an okay from the commission. So, but I think the intent should be, what did I start with and what did I reached, instead of why you did not pick up that color. I think it's just my opinion that you guys should vote on it,
I just think it's interesting that I'm really struggling. I'm new on this planning commission, and I'm really struggling with the fact that, when they approved it, this was what was approved, but then you didn't follow what they approved because you just picked another earth color. So I'm really struggling with, when they made their decision, they thought they were going to see something like this. But this is nothing like this. So that's what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with the fact that you came before them before and they made a decision, and you, I'm assuming, agreed with that. You were probably happy with that decision, but then you didn't follow the direction. I'm struggling with that.
when I was told to come up with colors, I was told it's okay, just pick any two colors and show it to us. It's as long as they are earth tone and as long as they are wood tone. That's what I was told. That's how I just went to Google and I picked the best color at that time, and I picked it and I came here and gave it to them. They approved it. I don't think that commission at that time was thinking too much about the colors.
Honestly, I don't know what they were thinking. I know that this commission seems to think about colors based on the couple months that I've been here, and everybody has different opinions. I'm not arguing or anything. I'm just struggling with the fact that I don't know what that commission thought. I just know that this is what they approved. That's all I'm saying.
More comments? Commission, staff, public?
And just want to comment again, that's why we're coming back with this is because it was not what was approved. So the council's decision will be to decide if those colors that it's currently painted are acceptable under the municipal code as those colors listed.
So Renee, oh, okay. Okay, so, I put it up to me,
I mean, is there,
or do we just
And-
have to do consensus?
is there an action that's being?
What do you mean?
I would suppose that the proposed, yeah, like number one or number two, like propose
No.
whether the making a determination by the commission that
So-
the colors as they currently stand fall inside the municipal code.
Okay, so do
Um,
we do that by consensus, or do we have to do a motion if we pick one?
So we have an emotion and a vote on it. If someone feels like that's the case, then they can make a motion and second, and we have a vote.
I think I'm gonna have to abstain. Because I don't feel like he should have to go back and repaint the entire building. But I would like to see a modification.
Well, can't you make a motion that states that?
I think that we need to make a determination if the colors fall within the municipal code.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's really a
not a-
specific thing. If the
Thank
colors
you.
fall under the municipal code,
Are
regardless of like how well they work together or anything else like
Right.
that, if they're inside the municipal code, then they're good. And that's that.
Is
So
that-
like, that's really the kind
Yeah,
of determination
we're
of
doing
do
it,
those
so-
colors specifically fall inside or not?
inside of sand and gold and inside of a green, I would say.
And I may not always agree with everybody's colors, but feel like they meet the intent of the code. That's my opinion. I'm sorry, Doug. I think the colors meet the intent of the code. That was my statement.
So would it sound something like I motion to approve that the colors fall within the intent of the municipal code?
You make a motion and then restate probably option number one, if you want to make a motion to state that they fall within the municipal code on the recommended action on the front page.
So, sorry, say that one more time.
So you would make a motion that we are determining the current color scheme as is acceptable in accordance with the City of Willows Municipal Code 18141-060. And that's on the recommendation of the staff report. If you wanted to make that motion would be
18-14160.
18141.060.
that the color scheme is acceptable under that municipal code or is not acceptable.
Well, no one's made a motion yet.
So I need to wait?
Yeah, you can, no, you can say whatever you want.
I just, can we, I know, I appreciate you said, well, these are what's in the code, but I would just love it if we could just have some visuals,
Uh,
so that we can look at it and say, yes, this is within the code instead of,
Visuals of the earth tone colors.
yeah, I would love that to help decide if it follows
The,
code or not.
the two colors in consideration would be sand gold and the other one would be green.
We don't actually have a color palette, though, do we?
There is
That I know.
specific ones mentioned in there, but under the colors that the building's currently painted, I think the gold and the green.
Right, but we don't, our code does not have a accompanying color palette.
It
Ju-
does, it does not. It does
Yeah.
not state a
So-
sunshine gold or any of that. It,
Yeah.
it does
Right.
get into some specifics, reddish browns, brown, tan, ochre, umber, gold, sand, and green.
But that could really help us so that, because it shouldn't really, I mean, it shouldn't be based on what I like or don't like. It should be whether or not it fits within the code. And that would just really help.
Absolutely. And we can make an item to adjust those codes at a later date or
Right.
adjust those colors or clarify this for future ease of everybody on determining if the colors fit within that.
Because I believe in those colors, there's gonna be a lot of nuance.
There is, and there's subjectivity to them as
Well, I
well.
think that's why we're having a hard time right now,
Exactly.
because we all have a personal opinion on what an earth tone is. For me, the base color is very similar to a building that got painted with facade improvement money that was approved by the city. So I'm okay with, do you see what I'm saying? I'm okay with the base because it's been done before. I'm not so sure that the yellow to me is an earth tone. And so that was why I was hoping to offer a compromise. But that-
Absolutely. But by code, gold is an earth tone. So is it a various shade of that and sand?
Exactly. So that-
So the code does call out gold, and that's what we're worried about the yellow. That's as specific as we have in our code. So an earth tone is defined as gold.
14 karat gold?
Any kind, that's the interpretation and the subjectivity of it.
One thing that I would like to see, and I've asked for it in the past, not with the current staff, but is when things come to us that involve approving color,
Mhm.
is to have actual paint samples. Whether, or color samples, if it's a wood siding, a metal siding, a rock, paint. If we can please get actual samples so that when something like this comes up, we know what we approve because we saw the paint. Determining a color off of a printed piece of paper, and we all know printers all print paper colors different. Printer resolutions and color that comes over a computer may look different from your computer to my computer.
Yep.
And so approving colors is very difficult, the way that we have been asked to do it.
Absolutely. In the future items, we can bring in actual samples at the original design review. That should not be
Thank
a
you.
problem.
Thank you.
I'd also add that we can memorialize the decision of the planning commission in conditions of approval, which apparently was not part of this one, where it didn't specifically say these are the colors. They were the colors that were suggested, but they were not listed as conditions of approval. These are the colors that are going to be used, and any deviation of that has to return to the planning. But in the future,
That's how I understand.
in the future, we could certainly make that a little clearer.
More permanent.
Right. It was not, it doesn't say anywhere on the conditions of approval that if you don't paint these colors, we're gonna be citing you or something. I was just gonna show you one picture of another building that is also on Tehama Street. And that is not mine. And it's painted this color. And it's called, company name is Wilbur Ellis. And other than this building on that side of Tehama Street, every building is so old that it doesn't even have any color.
Oh, yeah. It's similar. Similar.
Commissioner Valencia, I know kind of like things kind of, maybe were you going to make a motion or? Got it.
It should be on the page, isn't it, right here? It's already on my screen. Don't I have it on the right page? I don't think there's a. I don't think there's a resolution or anything that goes with it. Oh. I think you just make it.
So I move to approve that the color scheme is acceptable in accordance with the City of Willis Municipal Code 18.141.060.
Second? Okay,
So we
motion.
we have a motion to designate those colors as falling on the municipal code.
Yes,
by
that they fall
Cliff,
in the
and seconded by,
By-
okay,
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Can I abstain?
yeah, no, I mean, that is allowed.
I'm just kind of,
Yeah,
so, all right.
Right? Okay, so now, final item is election of chair and vice chair. This is recommended action of accept nominations and elect a chair and vice chair to preside over the planning commission for the 2024 calendar year. We do not have all of our commissioners here, so I don't know if you want to go ahead with that or if you want to postpone that for the next meeting. Can we nominate him even though he's not here? I
yes.
think so.
I mean, you can be, he's not here to accept or decline.
Well,
that
what if we vote him
nomination.
in?
Just make a motion for it and
Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't have a chance.
So just was letting you know.
I'd like to make a motion to continue with Pedro
Bobadilla.
Bobadilla to continue being the chair for the Willows Planning Commission.
Okay, the second,
I'll second that.
okay,
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
outstanding.
All right, and anybody's motion?
I'd like to make a motion to have Maria continue as our vice chair for the 2024 commission year.
Second that. All in favor?
I,
All opposed?
Okay,
I got to practice. So, all right. So, commissioners, do you have any reports, comments you want to?
where are we at with the banner?
Yep, so I did look into
Oh.
that. Sorry, I didn't get it on the agenda. So we are in a contract with them. This would be the second year of the contract with this company. It's a total of a 3-year contract, so we would be under contract with them for an additional year. As far as looking into other avenues and soliciting this banner program, we can absolutely do that. We wouldn't want to do it while we're in contract with this company. But I can bring that up as an additional item for future agendas. And I'll look at the contract and see if there are potential ways that maybe we can utilize him, some of our local vendors for banner making or some of those kinds of things. So I can bring that back, Holly, with some ideas on maybe utilizing local vendors in conjunction with our current contractor.
So how many years did you say it was?
It's 3 total, and we're in our second year right now.
So we should be expecting all new banners.
We brought that up. Yeah, there'll be new banners, same designs. We brought up different designs at the last one, and it was selected to stay with the same designs of those banners.
Okay, thank you.
I did want to bring up something to the committee. I don't know how you all feel about it. I know he's not here today, but I have spoken to other prior committee members from the past, and they mentioned that it would possibly be a good idea if you were open to it. If maybe we could have like an extra meeting, obviously that's something informal, where we can like go over the code. I'm not sure if that's something you would consider.
I think the municipal code is currently being rewritten. Is that true?
Yes.
And so to go over the current code, in my mind, would be, from what I understand, we will be involved in going over the new code. So I would hesitate to start to have meetings and look at the old code. It's going to be the new code that we're going to really want to focus on.
yeah,
I
once we
but-
have a draft of the new code, we can bring it before the planning commission for review and notes and input.
But I'm open to any trainings or any workshops or anything.
How does our involvement look like when it comes to the review?
So for the process, city staff did an initial red line of the entire municipal code. of like, here's questions, here's inputs and comments from things that we've gone over historically with certain items between the planning commission, between things for planning and building, all the way through issues that we've come across it when we bring items before the city council. The legal firm took those and they're going through like current kind of gold standards for other cities, things like that, and are putting together kind of a draft of what they think like the updated municipal code should look like. Any tweaks, changes, updated language. And then that will come back to the city for review, further input. And that's when we would bring it before like planning commission, city council, try to get all those inputs and then go back.
Is there a timeline for that?
I don't have a specific timeline for when we're going to get one back. We submitted that at the end of November, I believe. So it's still kind of early days yet. I wouldn't expect to see anything back by like until at least March, probably, maybe even a little later than that.
And everything land use related will be coming back to the planning commission for the recommendation to the city council.
I got a question. How we doing on Jack in the Box? Is that happening still? That was going.
It is still in the rounds of plan check.
Are we still waiting for Caltrans? That's good.
I don't think we're waiting for Caltrans. I think we're waiting for Jack in the
Resubmittal
Box.
Yeah, resubmittal by, I think they're,
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're waiting
Yeah.
on Jack in the Box last year.
So
They-
yeah,
we are-
last comments, we haven't received anything back from them, so we're waiting their latest revision.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. Thank you. Nothing? All right, how about staff?
I just wanted to do, would you like to see a discussion item, next round, maybe just about the colors and what we have in the municipal code, and you guys can offer some additional direction after you look at it, and then we can kind of move an item forward on maybe clarifying those things or doing that. I can bring that back as a discussion item for next agenda.
I would love to see us put together a palette of, I'm just gonna throw a number out there, 50 or 100 colors
Mhm.
that are earth tone colors, and let the applicant know that these are pre-approved colors,
Yep.
sort of, but anything within the scope of any of these.
Do a range of colors and say if you hit within this, it's good. And I think that would provide additional clarification than gold or these more kind of, there's a lot.
I think that's
I
why we
think there's a
really
lot.
struggle
Yeah.
with this, because it's a personal opinion. It really is. Color is hard.
Yes.
Mm-hmm,
And we've got a couple very specific
mm-hmm.
colors listed, and then reddish brown, and then gold.
Yeah.
So staff will work on, do you want us to stick with kind of those same earth tone colors to bring back to you, but provide a spectrum of that?
Bigger.
Yeah. Well, staff
Mhm.
will bring back for a report item and maybe not a recommendation to discuss what we've came up with, and then you can provide future direction on those colors if needed. Does that sound good? We'll bring in that spectrum and discuss it at the next meeting, and then you guys can have time to, we'll schedule out, hopefully the next meeting after that, a recommendation to approve those palettes. But if you have comments on what we bring next meeting, we'll incorporate those into the following.
Could Holly sit in on that since she has such an interest in color, sit with the staff and look? Is that something that
If the ca-
everyone would be open to?
If
just
the
getting
council's got a
her-
consensus on that, I don't think that's a problem.
I mean, it's not an issue, but I think what we'd rather do is come to you guys as a group and get all of your kind of like as a starting point, and then get your input as far as, like if we cast a wide net and then you want to kind of narrow the scope on that.
We'll go,
Um,
yeah.
Like if we go wide with interpretation and then you guys want to dial it in, and that makes it easier. It's easier than us bringing you a narrow scope and then, oh, not quite, but it could be this or it could be that. And
Well,
That's
Then
fine.
could we get it before we have
No,
to make another
absolutely.
color?
Yeah.
Like maybe
How do
even
you
not
know?
the same night as making a color decision?
No, no, absolutely. Staff will
Okay.
work as hard as possible to get you that as early as possible so that we can have a robust discussion and lock that in at the following meeting. But we will have discussion, but we will work to get that out to you guys for review as far out as possible.
When I was on the Greater Willows Improvement League, which
Yep.
you know that was a long time ago, I had asked for that same thing, just to kind of nail it down for people because it is such a,
It's kind of ambiguous on things.
It that opens it up for a lot of subjectivity, and I think
It is.
having a more clean parameters of these are the colors and what are acceptable in from this shade to that shade and everything in between that on these certain earth
It
tones would
make
be
things a lot easier.
everybody's on
Uh-huh.
the business side and the council side a lot easier to,
and having color chips
yes,
when we
that's what I'm picturing in my head. a
are
board of
approving,
color.
well, when we're approving colors, you know.
Okay, so anything else from anybody?
May I ask a question?
Here we go.
Sorry.
That's all right.
What, do you know why we were handed this?
No.
Okay.
Can we talk about it briefly?
I mean, we've sort of moved on from the agenda item. I
Okay,
would
that's
want to
fine.
like try to just for sake of simplicity. But I suspect that the conversation is not over yet. So
All right, meeting adjourned, 7:07. I had a lot of help over there, okay.
Thank you, Byron.
Thank you.
I'm lost.
I am wondering if I could get your latest.
Yeah, this is all-
Here, but
this
that
is-
one was